The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Oh, look at this. Look at this! He got it! Ready for a spare!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Washington Toyota Dodge Nissan. Looks good.
Looks good! That's good to go! It's a
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire, and another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. I'm Doug Brown. Dan Murphy will be away for the next few Sundays, so the rest of us will hold the fort here, and we're glad you're along for another edition. We begin a brand new series this week, and we'll tell you about our first two bowlers in just a second. We have a brand new bonus ball contest. We had a big winner last week, so we're back down to $50 in the jackpot this week. We emptied out the big drum, so we've got a whole bunch of new postcards in. We'll tell you how you can enter the contest a little bit later on. But as I mentioned, we have 5 brand new bowlers ready to go in this 4-week series. As we get closer and closer to the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, only 2 spots still remain, and 1 bowler from this group will be the next guy to qualify. So let's meet our 2 bowlers for this week's show. First of all, our number 5 seed from Pembroke, New Hampshire, Kevin Davis. Kevin, of course, has been with us several previous occasions. This will be his 6th singles appearance here on Stars and Strikes. He carries an average of 126, and he qualified with a roll-off score of 613. And Kevin will be our number 5 seed for this series, and that means he and our number 4 seed will have to try and win 4 matches in a row in order to get to the Tournament of Champions. Our number 4 seed, Kevin's opponent today, from Quincy, Massachusetts, Rich Hallberg. Rich is making his first appearance here on Stars and Strikes in singles competition, although he has appeared on the Skins program on Saturday. Rich has an average of a 120 and qualified with a roll-off score of 619, so just 6 pins the difference between these two guys in the roll-off. We will settle it now, 3 games, to determine who goes on here on Stars and Strikes. We will be back to start this match. Kevin Davis and Rich Hallberg when we come back. Don't go away. Back we are here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes, and here are the 5 bowlers who'll be with us over the next 4 weeks. Beginning today, Kevin Davis and Rich Hallberg battling, of course. The winner of this one will face Dan LaPlume, our number 3 seed, next week. Our number 2 seed, hey, a familiar name, Paul Berger, trying to make his consecutive Tournament of Champions appearance streak stay alive. And then Tim Lipke, our number 1 seed at 654, awaits the survivor of these next 3 weeks. So that's a little look ahead at what's to come. But today it's Kevin Davis against Rich Hallberg, and Kevin Davis will step to the line first.
Come on, Kev. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Kevin with a record of 1-4 here with us, but that's somewhat deceiving. He has bowled well in several of those losses. The last time he was here in singles was back in March of '95, and Kevin rolled a 382, but that wasn't good enough. Chris Sargent beat him with a 457. And Kevin rips the strike in box number 2, kicking out the 5-pin for his first mark, and we get another look. Great 1-3 pocket hit and the tap on the 5-pin. And now Rich Hallberg, who, after appearing on Skins earlier, now makes his first appearance here on Stars and Strikes in singles competition, and look out, almost. Just missing the 4-pin on the trip. Had to wait for the wood to settle down, but it was not a factor on the shot, and Rich nails down his first mark. Rich from Quincy, Massachusetts. Works as a maintenance worker for the Bank of Boston. And right on the head pin for the fill, just 4 with the spread eagle. Oh, great effort. Great effort. Touched the 4 pin, but couldn't get it to do anything on the 7. And Rich takes the 10. So 24 through 2, and we are underway. Great effort here on the spread eagle by Rich Hallberg. Just got the tap on the 4, but not enough to knock it over and perhaps take the 7. Kevin Davis now working on a strike. That ball looked better than the result. Not quite. And the 10 for Kevin. 38 through 3, and Kevin has the early lead here. Kevin lives in Pembroke, New Hampshire. He has a son, Adam, and his fiancée, Amber, is also here in the crowd. Kevin works at Sandy's Variety in Manchester. Does a lot of his bowling at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord. Even though Dan's not here, I got to get the gratuitous plug in or he'll be mad at me. So there it is. And another 10 for Kevin. For those of you who tuned in late, Dan will be away on assignment for the next few Sundays. I am pleased, however, to let everybody know that Dan's daughter Tanya is here, keeping the computer scoreboard for us to help me out. Much appreciated. Rich Hallberg. Four horsemen plus the 10, and didn't take the 10. Last week, in case you missed it, Louise LeBlanc from Manchester, New Hampshire was a $210 winner in our bonus ball contest. So we have emptied out our big drum and a whole bunch of new cards in there. We hope yours is one of them. Grab a pen and a piece of paper and we'll tell you how you can enter our bonus ball contest at the start of the next game. $50 in the jackpot today as we reset the amount. The winner last week, Louise, was our first winner of the season. 8 box for Rich, and now a 6-pin lead for Kevin Davis after the first 4. Kevin Davis, one of the few. One of these selected Candlepin bowlers who have hit 200 in a game. With that high single 201. Very smooth. Mechanics are very good. He spares in the 5th. And Kevin has 2 marks. He'll take 7 on the fill. And he'll look over the 2, 4, and 10 with a piece of wood that may help. Adjacent to the 2-pin. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Fine shot. Helped by the wood, but Kevin played it exactly right for 2 marks in a row. If he had pinched the wood and the 2-pin, he might have missed the 10. But hitting it up on the red line looked to be the better play. Rich Hallberg back on the head pin, and he'll have a spare leave, the 3 and the 5. And the spare. Rich Hallberg's second mark. Seven is the fill, and that piece of wood may or may not be in play. We'll have to have Cindy Sissom go down and check it. The 2, 5, and 8, and if it is in play, it's barely in play. It's going to be very close, it appears. And it is touching the deadwood line, so that will be removed, and that will perhaps help Rich Hallberg. A piece of wood in front of this shot may have helped, but it could also have deflected the ball, so we'll see what Rich does here. And he got it. Great shot. 2 in a row. That is not an easy shot. If you play it too full, you can miss the 5 pin. If you play it kind of as a pocket hit, you can miss the 8. And he played it to the left side and managed to take it all. 3 marks for each bowler now. Kevin Davis working on a spare, and he puts the strike on top of it. 3 marks in a row for Kevin Davis. Brooklyn side this time. Nope, Kevin off target that time. Working on a strike though, so has a chance to recover. And he does recover with a spare. 4 in a row for Kevin Davis. 2 spares, strike and spare. And all of a sudden, he's having a fine string. Has not left a pin standing as yet. Rich Hallberg has 2 marks in a row of his own, and he will take 8. He was hoping for the 3 pin also, but that will stay up along with the 7 for his spare chance here. Wood everywhere should help. Let's see if it's enough. Yes! Oh, it was the 3 pin, I believe, itself that danced over and got the 7. 3 marks in a row. Let's see. Yep. Pinching that wood against the 3 pin, popped it right over into the corner. And on the spare, 8 more. 5 and the 8 for yet another mark. Rich trying to match Kevin Davis's 4 consecutive marks, and he does it. Well, quite a battle going here. Kevin Davis with a spare in the 8th at 115 plus this ball. Just catches a piece of the head pin for a 5 fill. Tough leave here. 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, right through the center. And Kevin will take an 8. 128 with a box to go. A reminder that Candlepin Stars and Strikes here on the Winds of New England, brought to you in part by our friends at Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Come to Salem and save. Right on Main Street, Route 97 in Salem, New Hampshire. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Kevin Davis with a 9 drop, and he will have the 10 pin to shoot at. The wood moving, but it appears it'll stay out of his way. Clear shot at the 10, and Kevin converts. 138 plus a ball, with 6 marks to this point in game 1 for Kevin Davis.
Matt Walsh, come to the desk, please.
And on that final spare, Kevin rips the rack. Strike on spare, 148 for Kevin Davis. Fine opening game. Let's see if Rich Hallberg can answer again. He's got 4 marks in a row. working on a spare here. Pulled that one a little bit, just 3. So Rich will be open in the 9th. He'll have to put a mark up here in the 10th in order to avoid trailing by 20 or more going into game 2, as Kevin Davis has come out firing. That 8 box in the 9th, by the way, that you see for Kevin Davis, those were the only 2 pins he left standing in the game. Everything else a 10 or a mark. Oh my, Rich probably deserved better on that ball. And the wood is not going to be in a very favorable spot, no matter where it ends up, I don't think. The 5, 8, 9, and 10 with wood rolling. No, not enough to get it there. So Kevin Davis will have the lead at the end of game 1. A 9 for Rich Hallberg, 126 for Rich. And for Kevin Davis, a fine 148. Kevin Davis in the lead by 22 after 1 here on Stars and Strikes. Rich Hallberg trailing by 22, and what a shot to start game 2. He drags a piece of wood out of the channel to make that very difficult shot. Watch the piece of wood in the channel as he hits the 3-pin. The 6 goes into the channel and takes that wood out to get the 4. Great shot. And he takes advantage with a 7-fill. What a star next to that one. That was a terrific shot. Not this time, though. Isn't that the way? He made the difficult shot and then was not able to convert the triangle. Maybe that was the way to play it. But he wasn't sure at the time. And the spare for Kevin Davis. Kevin, who had 7 marks in game 1, starts right up in game 2. The computer showing a spare in the 2nd for Rich Hallberg. That is a 10 box. Another spare for Kevin Davis, and we will take a timeout here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We'll take a quick break and come back with more. Don't go away. We'll be back to Park Place Lanes in a minute. Back we are. Park Place Lanes. A brand new series here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Glad you could join us. Rich Hallberg, almost. And the 10. Rich with a 126 opening game. He's thrown 6 spares already, no strikes. The way he's throwing the ball, though, I dare say that will change. He's got the 3 and the 6 right now for a spare. And he's got it. And meanwhile, he's just trying to keep pace with Kevin Davis, who now has 9 marks in his first 11 boxes. Make it 9 out of 12. Kevin setting a torrid pace here. He's working on a spare. And he drops 9. Wow. Leaving the 3-pin. No, slides by. Takes it for a 10, but an opportunity missed there, one of the rare ones for Kevin Davis today. And this time, Kevin will have a more challenging leave, the 6, 7, and 8. Don't see this one very often. And even with the wood, nothing much happening there. And that will be an 8. 8 box for Kevin Davis. Clipping the piece of wood in the channel on the way by, so whatever happens after that does not count. Rich Hallberg on a spare, and he fills it with his first strike. Had a feeling it wouldn't take too long before Rich finally got his first one, and there it is. Comes at a good time, too. Helps him cut into that deficit. Just tripping the 5-pin. That's 8 marks for Rich Hallberg. Chances here are the 5 and the 7. If it will deflect, and it does. 2 very crucial marks right there, because Rich had just cut the lead under 20 and wanted to put a little pressure on Kevin Davis, and now he's done it with 2 big marks. Kevin is full on the head pin. Just avoids the spread eagle, and actually has a piece of wood in here that may help him. See if he elects to play this from right to left. He will. And he's got it! Great shot. Oh, fine play. Hitting the 3 and the wood simultaneously. Well played by Kevin Davis. Takes 8 on the fill. Looking for another one. And there it is. Wow. 11 marks in 16 boxes now for Kevin Davis. Through 15 boxes, he was at 220. Rich Hallberg has 3 marks in a row. This is a spare fill, and it's 6. The 1, 2, 6, and 10. It'll go as a 9. Rich a little off target to the left. Oh, great effort, and will it take the 7? Let's see, no. And now he has to wait for the wood to settle down. Almost a terrific spare there by Rich Hallberg. But instead, he'll take the 10 box. And here's another look at it. Playing it the old-fashioned way in the 1-3 pocket. Almost got it on the first time by, and then the wood just not quite strong enough on the 7 pin. Kevin Davis, almost another strike. That's a 9 fill on his spare, though. Missed a single earlier in this game, does not miss this one. He has 3 marks in a row, and no signs of slowing down from Kevin Davis. He's got a better score right now than in the first game at this juncture. Strike on spare. Wow. Woo. 4 marks in a row. In the same spot that he had 4 in a row the last game. And Rich Hallberg, who's bowling quite well himself, finds himself falling farther and farther behind. And now with this ugly leave, the 2, 3, 4, and 6. An 8 box. And with Kevin Davis already showing that strike in the 8th, and with the 31-pin lead, Rich really needs something good to happen here in the 10th to leave himself a fighting chance, and there is a big 9 drop right there. Rich has 9 marks. Make it 10. He bowled above his average in the first game. He's already above his average here in the second, with 130 plus a ball. But he's probably going to lose more ground. Eight fill, 138 for Rich Hallberg, and a 2-game total of 264. Not exactly chopped liver, but he'll be trailing. In fact, he's already trailing. Kevin Davis already at 269, working on a strike. And look out. The 8-9. It'll all depend on the wood here. Any chance he would have will depend on what this wood does. Let's see. Played it thin and maybe a little too thin, but he had to do something tricky to get it to get over for the 8 pin. .138 through 9. Kevin pretty much guaranteed a 30-pin lead at least after 2 games, unless he has a real bad box here in the 10th. Oh, he gives it a run. Kevin Davis had a 148 opening game, and he has a 148 second game for a 2-game total of 296 for Rich Hallberg, 138 here in the second, 264 for Rich, a 32-pin lead for Kevin Davis. We'll be back with more on Stars and Strikes after these words. 4 bowlers have already qualified for the 1996 Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, and here they are. The number 1 seed so far, Bob Kelly at 410. Joe Ashline last week got in with a 406. Rich Clark is in there also with a 396, and Dan Broder is in the field with a 362. But there are 2 spots still open, and one of the guys from this series will fill the next spot. Then we will take a break, by the way, for 4 weeks of mixed doubles action here on Stars and Strikes after this ladder is concluded. And then we'll be back with our final regular season series of the year, and then, of course, the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions in the spring. We'll give you the exact dates of all that a little bit later on when it gets closer. And also more details on the 1996 New Hampshire State Candlepin Championships, which for the second year in a row will be held here on the Winds of New England. That'll be on our Saturday show. More details on that in the weeks ahead. Well, Kevin Davis just missing a spare, and he has not missed many. He has 13 marks already in this match, and on the 4-6-7, he almost threw something over to get the 6-pin. Kevin with matching 148s in the first 2 games here today. Now, possibilities here, the head pin, along with the triangle in the corner and the 10. With all the wood scattered around, no, not on that side, maybe on the other side. So a rare occurrence, Kevin Davis with a pair of open boxes here. And an opening for Rich Hallberg, who trails by 32. And certainly Rich making his first appearance here on our Sunday show, having a very fine match for himself, but he was run into a buzzsaw in Kevin Davis. For the spare, he's got it. It's mark number 11 for Rich, and he takes 7 on the fill. No, missing the triangle. Opportunity lost right there with the 2 open boxes from Kevin Davis. But Rich will make up some ground. He will make up 9 pins, make it 8 pins, cutting the lead to 24. Kevin Davis almost with strike number 5 on the day, but he leaves the 8-pin. Tricky piece of wood next to it with the cap facing him. And he drives right through it for the spare. Kevin, on more than one occasion during the show, has taken that extra little practice slide at the foul line, just to make sure everything is okay. Oh my! That looked like it was going to be a nothing fill, and all of a sudden it's 8. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, whether the ball came back or whether a pin came down from the top. But Kevin converts it into a mark. Wow. Let's see what happened on that first ball. Looked like he had missed completely, and then the piece from the right hit the 10-pin and came back down and started clearing everything out. Kevin takes advantage. There's 2 more marks up on the board. Rich Hallberg now. For the spare, fine shot. Boy, Rich has bowled exceptionally well. You might wonder or think about the possibility of him being a little on edge here in his first appearance in singles, but boy, he has seemed very, very much at home and bowling very well. And he takes 8 with a chance for another. kicking out a couple of extra pins. And it goes. And we will go to a break. Rich Hallberg still very much in this thing. He trails by just 24, trying to keep pace with a very hot Kevin Davis. We'll be back in a minute. Kevin Davis, again with that practice slide and ready to go. You see how well he has been bowling today. That's in 24 boxes. He has 15 marks. Oh, and a chance for another. 8 drop on the spare. The 5 and the 8. Has to watch out for the cap of the wood. Oh, handles it easily. 3 spares in a row for Kevin Davis. The winner of this match gets Dan LaPlume from South Lawrence, Massachusetts, next week here on Stars and Strikes. Don't forget, next Saturday at noon, we'll be here with another episode of Candlepin Skins from the Londonderry Bowling Center. And then, of course, next Sunday back here for Stars and Strikes, Dan LaPlume against the winner of this match. Oh, great shot. Ho-hum, just another spare for Kevin Davis. Wow, is he bowling well. The 1, 4, and 7. That was just a 3 fill on a mark for Rich Hallberg, and with Kevin already putting up 2 marks, Rich really in a must-mark situation here, and he can't convert that one. $9. So he trails by 37, plus he's opposite a mark here. So in order to give himself really a fighting chance coming down the end, he really needs to put a mark up here. Oh, almost all of them. Rocks the 4-pin. Rich took a little extra time on that one. Gets it for the spare. Big shot. His 14th mark in the match. Kevin Davis on a spare. This is not a recording. A 7 fill. For another? No, not this time. And it'll be a 9 for Kevin. Kevin will have to work some now to get his third 148 game. That's what he had in the first 2. Oh, maybe he's got room. Don't go away. That strike puts him over 400, and he's got 2 boxes to go. That is his 5th strike. He has not had a double. Well, that's about the only thing he hasn't done. Rich Hallberg just 4 on his spare. Working against an open box, and he will be open also. Eight box. The lead now 41, and Rich just plain running out of boxes here, although he's going to have a fine 3-game total on his own. Catches a couple of extra pins there. Maybe he has a chance here. The 1, 3, plus the triangle in the corner, the 4, 7, and 8. with a little wood to help, and nothing on the 4-pin. Nine for Rich. Kevin has a chance to close Rich out mathematically here if he were to put enough offense up here in the final two. There it is, 18 marks for Kevin Davis, and he's got 2 boxes left. Through the center this time. Well, if you're going to do it with a 40-pin lead. Just 5 on the strike. And a 5 in the box. Well, that really is the first mistake that Kevin has made all day. He's a little disgusted with himself, but he really has not made many errors today. Before that 5 fill on the strike, he had a 5 fill on a spare earlier. Every other fill has been 7 or better on his 18 marks to this point. So on 16 of his 18 marks, he has filled 7 or better. That's going to win you most matches. For another mark? Yes, number 19. $127 plus a ball. Six is the fill, 133 for a 3-game total of 429. Great bowling for Kevin Davis, and Rich Hallberg will not be able to catch him, even if he were to strike out. Oh, almost. Rich gave it a run. $9. Rich already at 370. And he throws the strike in the 10th. Oh, he's not done yet. Very respectable day's work for Rich Hallberg as he kicks out the 4 and the 9. And on the strike fill, he'll get one more ball. And takes advantage. He'll take 7, a 123, and a 387 for Rich Hallberg. On many days, that's enough to win, but not today. Kevin Davis, a 429. We will be back to talk to the bowlers and see if we can't get a second winner in a row in the bonus ball contest when we come back to Park Place Lanes in a minute. Welcome back to Park Place Lanes, and keep the applause going for Rich Hallberg, who bowled very, very well here this afternoon, his first appearance here on Stars and Strikes. And Rich, there's a check for $100. Slide right in here, and boy, congratulations. I was just saying earlier that 387 on many days, good enough to win, but this guy was just right out of the box on fire.
Yeah, he bowled real well. 387 usually, it's good enough to win, but not today. But he bowled real well.
Well, I know that for making your first appearance here, maybe you had to be a little bit nervous, but certainly it didn't show. You came right out firing and looked very comfortable right from the start.
Well, I figured I was going to need a good score. I know Kevin pretty well. I figured I was going to need a good score, and a little short, but it's always next time.
Well, usually that first time is always the toughest, right. So hopefully the next time will be quicker.
I hope so.
All right, thanks very much, Rich. Congratulations. $100 for Rich Hallberg for finishing in 5th place. And now we're going to try and get back-to-back winners in our bonus ball contest. Kevin Davis all set to go on lane 31. Now he's been throwing that big ball all day, and he's getting heckled from the crowd. The pressure is really on now. Never mind the match. This is the big pressure. He throws a 6. Come on over here, Kevin, and we'll chat here for a second. 6. This is the big pressure of having Dan not here, as I have to draw this card myself. Not a winner for Shirley Crombie of Beverly, Mass. Shirley's guess was 5, so she underestimated you a little bit, Kevin. Step right in here so we can chat. Boy, I don't have to ask you how comfortable you felt. You had everything clicking today.
Well, yeah, I've been in a drought here on TV 50, on singles anyway.
Well, you've had some good scores, but lost a couple times.
Right.
In fact, the last time you were here, something similar to what happened to Rich today.
Yeah, I got beat by 80 pins, and I threw a 380. Yeah, I was just happy to come out, throw a good ball, and they went.
Now the question is, how do you make sure that you capture that feeling so that you can do it again next week?
I'm going to go have Sal's Pizza, like Chris Sargent did.
Well, we've got Dan LaPlume here to face you next week. It's a long trip up from the bottom. You got to win 4 in a row, but you got to get the first one to do it. So congratulations. Big score today.
Thanks.
All right. Congratulations, Kevin. Thanks very much. Kevin Davis with a terrific 429. And here then is the story as we head back to the ladder. Kevin Davis coming from the number 5 spot, attempting to win 4 in a row. Every once in a while, somebody does it to get into the Tournament of Champions. Perhaps Kevin Davis will be the latest. Number 3 seed Dan LaPlume will be here next week to face Kevin as he'll try for his 2nd win in a row. Today for Kevin, a 429 to knock off Rich Hallberg's 387. Don't forget, next Saturday at noon, we're back at the Londonderry Bowling Center. Dan Murphy will join me, and we'll have Candlepin Skins. Next Sunday, back here on Stars and Strikes at Park Place Lanes for Kevin Davis and Dan LaPlume. Until then, for Dan Murphy, who's on assignment, and the rest of the Winds of New England crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a great week, everybody.